Hello everyone, Argsy here. It's November, which means just one thing. Farming Simulator 25 releases in just a couple of weeks. But before we look forward to that, let's take a minute to look back at all the information released in October, and boy, there was a lot, so let's go and check it out. First up, Giants have continued their Farming Simulator in 25 seconds videos with little featurettes about peas, goats, and introductions to some of the new NPC townsfolk. The most recent though was a highlight for me, with some great looking shots of the new ground deformation feature, the independent tyre tracks, the texture on the plough, and the dirt and mud sitting in the tyre treads all look stunning. I said it last time, but I find these little interactions a fantastic way for Giants to engage with the community in a different way to the more traditional blogs and trailers. And these have provided some great media for content creators and fans alike to share on their social pages. We have had an influx of trailers over the last month, showing off more of the new maps and equipment, including a New Holland CR11 Focus trailer, another spotlighting the Macdon equipment, including the swather and headers. We've had map trailers for both Riverbend Springs and Hutan Pantai, and the now traditional features trailer, which summarises all about the main new features for Farming Simulator 25. Always nice to see these and reflect back on what has been revealed so far, a bit like these videos. Now, the only trailer we haven't seen yet is the equipment trailer, which I can only expect will be with us in the coming days. The regular weekly blogs have continued with a whole raft of new information revealed about rice, including some screenshots which showed more about how to build your own rice paddies and how the flooding mechanic will work. We also had more news about goats, some insights into the processes which went into creating the goat models and bringing these woolly characters to life, along with what to expect from goats with both goat's milk and goat's cheese on the menu. Now, most of the blogs to date have covered off the new crops and new animals, so it was nice to have a couple of blogs focused on some of the other new features for the game. Constructions and town projects, meeting the neighbours, or NPCs as they are more commonly referred to, and learning about hand tools and bale consumables have all been expanded on in recent weeks. The construction and town projects expand on features from FS22, such as the Zalonka piano manufacturing, to include some new projects. Silver Shaft Wagons provides an opportunity to recreate some historic horse-drawn carriages, or how about building some toys for the kids of Riverbend Springs, or even reconstructing a large playground. While Hutan Pantai features a buildable temple which will double as the location for collectibles to be displayed once discovered. In Riverbend Springs, collectibles can be discovered and taken to the Grain Elevator Museum, which needs some maintenance before it can display your treasures. Now, on top of all this construction, buildable houses and barns will provide a further challenge for farmers to branch out from their usual agricultural activities. And once completed, these buildings will be interactive with interiors to explore. The locals of Farming Simulator 25 were introduced to us for the first time after having first been mentioned at FarmCon. There will be numerous NPCs throughout the maps, acting as information points providing guidance for new players, each with their own unique personality and area of expertise. Just watch out for David, he seemed a little bit dodgy. Grandpa Walter, he can tell you a story or two. Ben is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to crops. Katie loves animals and can give some great advice on all the creatures of farms, and while Noah is the local lumberjack, just don't leave any litter in the forest when out exploring. It will be intriguing to see how these characters add to the depth of Farming Simulator 25. The final blog for the month gave us hand tools, which can be picked up and down in special holders, not just magically appearing when you want. Chainsaws can be carried around in forestry equipment with special holders, spray cans can be stored and accessed only when needed, and there was even a grooming brush, which I can only assume is to keep your horse's coat nice and shiny. Perhaps Katie could answer that one for us. As well as the hand tools, bale consumables were explained in more detail, with the previously announced Rani Plast and Rani Wrap partnership for bale wrap, as well as branded bale twine and bale netting to match your chosen baler colour. Now, I did say the hand tools was the final blog of the month, but Giants have snuck another one right in at deadline. This is all about ground deformation. Now, we didn't learn anything really new about the ground deformation that we haven't already seen and heard, but there is a lot of information in there around the technical aspects of how it worked and what was needed to change the coding in the game to bring ground deformation into FS25. So an interesting read for the tech nerds in amongst us, but from a gameplay point of view, not a whole lot of new information there. Of course, Fact Sheet Fridays have continued and we've had 4 more of those across the month of October. Some interesting equipment spread out amongst there. We are still yet to see a planter. There has been plenty of seeders across the 9 weeks of Fact Sheets so far, but no planters yet. Some interesting pieces of equipment highlighted to me was the Amity sugar beet harvester, as well as the AgriFact sugar beet harvester. A couple of those are shared in the one blog. We also found out a little bit more about the Aprilia dirt bike as well, so looking forward to trying out some of this gear. Now, the highlight of the last month for me was undoubtedly the Giants Partner event held at the Case IH plant in Racine, Wisconsin. 20 selected Giants partners, including yours truly, from the English community were given the chance to experience Farming Simulator 25 for the first time, as well as having some of the latest model Case tractors to drive. This included the 715 Quadtrack and a tour of the Case Macdon production facility. Thank you once again to Giants for inviting me to this. It will certainly be a lasting memory. Now, the final source of information released in October was Farming Simulator's own magazine, which almost inadvertently revealed the new dynamic pastures for animals. Now, from the brief story about this, I've seen that custom pastures can be created on any grass field or meadow that you own. Animals can be taken to these to graze. However, you do need to be putting these back into a barn over winter to avoid the colder weather. Now, I think it is safe to assume that this will use a similar build mechanic to the rice paddies. However, we will need to wait to see exactly how this works. Now, amongst all of this, the Farm Sim guy and myself also had the chance to sit down with Kermit from Giants for a bit over an hour and discuss the last few weeks of Farming Simulator 25 news and information, as well as what to expect leading into the launch of the game. This included confirmation of a day 1 patch, as well as a day 1 content update with new equipment continuing to be added to the game even after launch. While we couldn't extract any undisclosed features, it was a great chat which covered topics from what's involved in becoming a content creator and becoming part of the Giants Partner program, how features are chosen to be included in the next game, through to the development cycle of a game, and when discussion on the next edition of the game starts. A huge thank you again to Kermit for giving up his time over the weekend for this chat. And finally, we are starting to see already some console users reporting having the opportunity to pre-download and install Farming Simulator 25 onto their devices in advance of release. So if you're a console user, keep an eye out for that. You might be able to do the same. And that is it, our final monthly summary for Farming Simulator 25 news and information. In about a week, we will start to see the first early access videos coming through from the Giants partners, and before you know it, it will be the 12th of November and everyone will be able to play Farming Simulator 25 for the very first time. Now keep an eye out here on the channel as we continue to bring you any last minute updates in the lead up to launch, and for our first full hands-on with Farming Simulator as soon as we can bring that to you. And finally, if you still haven't pre-ordered, you can do this right up to launch. A reminder, the pre-order does include the Macdon Swather and the New Holland CR11 Gold Edition. Now if you're a PC user, you can also support the channel by pre-ordering via the Giants web store using our code ARGSYGaming at the checkout to help support the channel and help us on our goal to becoming a silver partner with the Giants. So that's it. Thank you everyone who's tuned in and watched each and every one of these updates. I hope you found them very useful. It's been a blast to be able to reflect back on each and every month of news and information that's been released about Farming Simulator 25, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it and being able to play it properly, as much as I hope you are as well. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next one.